What is up, bros? Josh here. In today's video, we're going over a ship I had surprisingly a lot of fun in, and that is the Podvoisky. Now, I will probably slaughter this name, so I'm going to call it the Pod for short, just so everyone doesn't get triggered in the YouTube comments, which everyone usually does when I pronounce something incorrectly. But this is the Tier 5 Russian DD, and this is a ship I've actually never played before on my main account because of how the line started, and so we were playing it on the alt account. We're doing our Road to Tier 10 series. I'll put a link down below. You can check that out. That's a fun series. I've been doing kind of a side project of going through all the lines in World of Warships and seeing which one can get to Tier 10 the fastest. We just finished up the French battleship line, so the viewers picked the Russian DD line, going down the Grozovoy line, and so we got to the Tier 5, the Podvoisky, or the Pod. And this is a ship that I saw in ranked sprint, and every time I saw one, I knew our team was at a disadvantage. So in my head, unfairly, I went into this ship thinking this ship is going to be bad. This ship is bad. It has such a high detection. We don't even have a 10-point captain at this. So at Tier 5, having a 7.5 kilometer detection when going against things like the Kamikaze R, which is over 2 kilometers stealthier than you are. I was expecting the ship to be extremely poor, and it's extremely big, so getting hit by cruisers is definitely a thing. But this ship surprised me, I think, more than any ship has in the past, and what I mean by that is it was actually a lot of fun to play. And we even got good matchmaking. I guess we got a little lucky with good matchmaking. Tier 5 tends to be one of the worst, if not the worst matchmaking in the entire game, because you tend to be bottom tiered. But this one was a lot of fun, and of course, the one DD we run into is the Kamikaze R, so we know this game's going to be kind of a bummer. But this ship actually was a lot of fun. It reminds me a lot more of the Khabarovsk at Tier 5 by even how you play it. Basically, you're extremely fast, 40 plus knots for Tier 5, which is insane. This ship with like a concealment expert or radio location captain would be pretty nuts, because I would just chase down the Kamikaze R and he wouldn't be able to get away. And you'll even see that later in the game, what we can kind of do against this. But the thing is, it's so close to the Khabarovsk because of its extremely high detection, good guns. Guns do a lot of alpha damage, 130 millimeters, so those are going to hit extremely hard, and extremely short range torps. So not going to get much out of the torps. Only 4 kilometers. They're pretty much defensive, but you can do that. The one thing you can do at this tier is because the cruisers are so lightly armored, you can smash cruisers 3,000 a hit and a fire. We ended up getting a lot of fires with this thing as well. It was pretty fun. But I started playing this ship a bit more like a support ship, where I would pick a DD that tended to be stealthier. Unluckily, all 3 of our other DDs went to the south side, but I would pick a DD that's stealthy, and I would just support him. I would just shadow that person, and it ended up working extremely well, because he would spot, or the person would spot, and then I would just absolutely obliterate that person, or the ship that they were going for, and it would be kind of like a GG, and we'd get the early DD cap. So early DD kill. One thing we could do here is we can obliterate cruisers close range. Not only does the HE have a fantastic alpha damage, hitting for, well, that's a bad example, but at cruisers being basically only the alpha was the one that we were seeing problems with. But even going against tier 6s, we just citadeled, farming citadels on cruisers, on the Omaha, on the Emil, on the Königsberg. All those cruisers we were just absolutely obliterating with the AP and close range broadsides, and would just make them disappear. One game I think we had, I mean, there you got blobbed right there, but even the Karlsruhe, I mean, we had games, even long range, that we would just absolutely smash cruisers for 10k salvos every 7.5 seconds. So this ship, going into thinking it was going to be an absolute turd, ended up being extremely fun to play, and extremely, I would say, good. I even jokingly called it overpowered at one point, just because of its damage output gun-wise, and its speed, because its ability to just kind of get away. And in a lot of situations, if the ship was arky, you have a decent health pool, you could basically outgun cruisers in a lot of situations. So that was actually pretty cool. And it was just so surprising to see a ship like this. And it's kind of funny, this whole side was basically me, this Emil, and this October, and we held down like 7 ships. So that was pretty cool. But just going even long range against this Phoenix, I think we still even get citadels on this guy, but really it's just about finding the right spot to just work down a target. So as you see, we instantly switch to AP when something's giving us broadside. The one thing I will say about this line, though, is it's more of an advanced line. And what I mean by that is that Does an enemy take that? Or does he get that range? It is an advanced line. It is picking the right kind of fights. It's picking the right kind of engagements to use your guns, and if you don't pick the right ones, you will get obliterated. So I feel like there is a bit more, because you don't have the detection to kind of work with and bail yourself out of bad situations. It is a more advanced line because you have to, one, use maps, use map awareness, really, and using islands. There's a lot of situations where if I knew something was out detecting me, like right now this Clemson is out detecting me, I'm going to use this island to get close enough to him to break that line of sight. And then obviously the Kamikaze R is going to be pretty close. That was the worst part, trying to figure out where he was. But using islands and using cover to get within a striking range, because then you can basically do a responding range and engage them and do a bunch of damage to them. So luckily enough, we couldn't surprise this Clemson. So we'll just work down this Karlsruhe, who's just slowly backing up, and wait and hopefully not stay on a straight line and avoid these Kamikaze R torps, because that's one of the biggest things. If you're a long, flat ship, and there's a Kamikaze bail in that way, so that's good, and we can get a bit more aggressive on this. And we know we could probably just chill. And smoke up right here, especially against this DD. One thing was really cool too is kind of outsmarting a lot of early players now. Yeah, it's not like something to brag about, like, oh man, I outsmarted this Camelus Clemson. That's probably his highest tier ship. But it was kind of fun to just kind of use a more I don't know, more like a brain game when playing this ship, because of how it kind of worked. Like, I knew he would kind of roll out, we'd sit and smoke for a second, and of course, you know, he would probably go on for the torp on the smoke, and, you know, we'd keep doing that. But it was kind of fun to get people to kind of bait them into a shot and then smoke up and then kind of use that against them. And right here we get one of our 2 torp kills, by the way, one of our 2 torp kills. So 4-kilometer torps. These things are so fast that if they are within range, they're probably going to get hit. So if anything is within your 4-kilometer range, most likely they are going to be taking at least 1 torp, and that was kind of something that was nice to see. So the Kamikazes rolling that way. We basically slaughtered this whole side and did some pretty good work, and our team on the south side starting to push north. And so we'll go up north, focus on the Karlsruhe. We have to deal with this Karav, so hopefully one of our friends will help me with the Karav, but we can take out this Karlsruhe, basically outgun him. And I think that is the friend that we needed right here. I think this is a salvo. Is it? We're going to see in a second. This October has been wrecking everybody. Yeah, there it is. So basically only a Karlsruhe here. There was a lot of times where you just kind of push, let people get out way out to the side, and we would just kind of push cap and put some aggression on there. One thing that was kind of nice too is getting into a situation where you can just flex, and because of the speed of the ship, and you could just flex and, like, let's say defend a cap or something like that, because your speed at this tier is so high. 40 plus knots at this tier is just next level speed. It's kind of unmatched almost. So here we're trying to figure out, I'm trying to figure out where this Kamikaze R is going to be. And again, this is when I'm trying to use the cover, and so I'm trying to get some information here. I'm not detected yet. Again, 7.5. He's going to be at 5.4, I believe, is the Kamikaze R. So I'm going to try to use this cover, and we're going to try to see if he's on the left or the right. We'd know basically this island would block a lot of detection, so we'd know if he was in this area, but we'd know if he was basically right here or right here. That's a lot of information when trying to find a ship that's that stealthy, is breaking down these visual lanes, and then we know he's there, or know they're in that general direction. So I'm not spotted yet, so we know they're not close. My guess is, since they're a Kamikaze R player, they're probably just going for damage. So we see 2 big battleships that are detected down there, and I'm assuming they're just going for that. So I'm going to push on a cap. Same with this Clemson. And we're just going to work those guys down and try to find out a little bit more damage, because 31k just isn't enough, especially at this tier. Even though we are 3 kills in, we have our 3 kills, which is good. And that's one thing I noticed too, is with this ship, because it fires relatively fast, the damage is pretty good. We were getting a lot of kills. I think we probably averaged, we got through the ship very fast. I think it was 9 games from completely stock, and see there the torps down there. So a pretty typical Kamikaze R player. They're just going to try to go for those damage, those straight line sailing battleships, which I think our Kaiser gives into what he wants here. But not doing anything really productive, just going for the damage. So what we're going to do is, while he's down there having his fun, we're going to go over here and have our fun. So Russian fun versus IGN torp boat fun. and that's the burn down the battleship. So, but again, I found myself getting a lot of kills with the ship. I think in 9 games, I think we probably averaged between 2 and 3 kills a game, and I think we got like 2 or 3 Krakens within the 9 games. So that's pretty insane. One thing too is obviously lower tier ships are going to be, or lower tier player base is going to be a bit more rewarding than a lot of the high tier ones, and probably against some better ones. There you go. There's the Kaiser. So the Kaiser did feed into the Kamikaze R player, but again, he's just looking for damage down there, and we're looking for the win. So we'll take that, and this New York will just gain a little bit more damage on and keep burning down. Even though some people were talking to me that I needed inertia fuse on this ship, I didn't really see it. I mean, obviously against some battleship with some mediocre dispersion, you could, you know, get a lot of shatters. We're getting a lot of shatters right now, but I didn't really feel like it was honestly needed. There was only a few ships that you'd get into and they would shatter a lot of shells, but it was just kind of on the mercy of your dispersion. And I was actually surprised this Kamikaze R pushed in this far, and so I'm trying to get guns on him, and we're kind of gonna make this game go out in style a little bit right here, but we get our kill right there. There's our poor man's Kraken 4 kills, and so what we're gonna do is use this cover. Again, we're not detected, so we know he's not north, we know he's not south, you know he's right on the other side of this island, or this smoke right here. So we're gonna go out in style. Kamikaze R thinks he's the torp ship, but little does he know that my torps are extremely fast, and there's nothing he can really do. So torps are going in. Russian torps, best torps. Podvoisky, the new torp boat. So there's our Kraken, Devstrike, Confederate, all the things there, and really just enjoyed this ship. I was expecting this to be a dread. We just got done with the French battleship line, and the Bretagne tended to be very mediocre. Took us a bunch of games to get through it. This one was an absolute joy. I'd even say this is kind of like a fun keeper ship. To just go around and kind of, you can really bully a lot of DDs and even cruisers and even battleships with this ship, because it's so fast. The guns hit so hard, and everything is just kind of good about this ship. Yes, the detection is insanely high. Ours was 7.5, but we didn't have a concealment expert captain. Like your detection's not competitive at all. But I was really surprised to have this much fun in this ship, and I think it's definitely one that I'll probably buy on the main account and mess around with every once in a while. But this has been just a really fun ship. We're on to the Gnemni at tier 6, and having a lot of fun with that one as well. Surprisingly, I thought these 2 ships, the 5 and the 6, were going to be like the worst ships on the line. But so far, they've been actually a lot of fun. But anyways, guys, just want to make this quick video. Nice little baby Kraken with what a lot of people think is maybe one of the worst DDs at this tier. But overall, I think it's a lot of fun, and I want to know what you guys think about this ship. Have you played it recently? Have you even played it at all? And what are your thoughts on the tier 5 Russian destroyer, the Podvoisky? So anyways, guys, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.